It didn't go?
No, it's going. All right. Hello, everybody. Did you miss us?
We took a week off for
Yeah.
a haircut.
Yeah, it was our Juneteenth holiday. Well, was that? No, I think that was
weeks ago.
That was weeks ago. Yeah, it's an early July 4th. Anyway, so today what we're going to be looking at is part of the exploitation film genre. And there's been a lot of that, and I think that maybe, I don't know when the first exploitation film started. That would be a good question. I should have done that research beforehand. But the thing that we're looking at is actually the exploitation films in the 1930s. So after the Hays Code went in, do you want to describe the Hays Code?
1931, it was the studios got together, and rather than be censored, they agreed to a bunch of rules, and they got this most Catholic, right-wing, really lunatic named William Hays, and he made some rules about what movies could and couldn't have.
It's about 1 or 2 pages long, right?
But they were so strict. Forget things like cursing and homosexuality and forget sex. Even married people sleeping in the same bed. If someone was a bad person, they had to die at the end.
There were plot restrictions on it, and so like one of the ones would be like, you could have a disreputable cop as long as he is somehow
killed at the end.
Well, no. I don't think that's what it said. I think it was it's as long as it turns out that it was all false accusations at the end, and that he was actually
if he's not really bad,
right?
But if anyone gay had to be killed, any loose woman had to die. People had to regret everything they did, and you couldn't even say what they did.
Right, and I think that some of that was because there was
a push for government censorship.
And so
and this was the compromise that will adhere to these.
I'm trying to think of a few films of the era, but I guess I can mention them, but most people don't know about them. It's just that when you look at it, it's usually called pre-code as to refer to them. And so, what you might find is some sort of light pre-code movies might have a bit of female nudity or something like that.
Overt sexuality.
Exactly. And then there's even more crazy ones out there that would be, borderline pornography or something. And this is what happened until the MPAA came in 1968 or so.
Changed it to you could do whatever you want, and we're just going to give it a different rating.
Right, and so after '68, they broke it into, I think it was.
Well, the early '60s, studios just started to ignore the Hays Code, and then again to stop censorship, they said, "Okay, we'll label them."
Yeah,
it's not a law.
I think initially it was PG, R, and G.
No, G, M for mature.
Oh, M, right.
R was restricted; you couldn't go in under 17, and then X.
No, X never existed.
They never copyrighted it. That's why they had to go to NC-17 because every porno film would put X on it to promote it as if it had been rated X.
And so,
but there were very few studio films actually rated X. Midnight Cowboy and
I don't think they ever were.
They were rated. Yeah, Midnight Cowboy was rated X.
And
there was one other movie.
Because what would happen is that essentially, if you wanted to, let's go back to it. So, if you had a licensed theater that would be able to show those movies, and those were the only ones they'd be able to show. So, if I had, let's say, a movie that was unrated, then I wouldn't be able to show it inside of one of those
chain.
Yeah, one of those chains. And so it behooved me to then get it rated. So I would then have to pay a fee, then to have some people that worked for the MPAA, which is a private organization, that would go through and say, all right, well, because of this, we want to rate it such and such and such and such. And sometimes you could say, well, if you turn down the saturation on the blood, or if you remove this profanity right here, then we can give it a lower rating. And so there were a bunch of, let's say, adult movies and all these strange things out there where they say, well, this is never going to be in a chain movie theater, so let's not pay the fee.
Well, that's what happened. And Midnight Cowboy was the first actual X-rated movie that was there, and that was because there was a homosexual themes, as they said. Now it could play on television uncut.
Interesting.
But at the time, it was rated X.
So during this time, which happens to actually coincide with what's called the golden age of Hollywood, it was interesting that underneath such restrictions, a lot of great movies were made, right? Like I don't know, Rear Window, Gone with the Wind, all these, Citizen Kane, right?
You can still make good movies and not have.
And so all of these great movies,
even within the restrictions, but
within that,
yeah.
Along with, I don't know, like every sort of musical that you love and some of the classic Disney movies. So if you wanted to make something that was still of that nature, you could do it through exploitation. And that's where it really started, is that, or at least in this era, is that you could say something like, well, I want to make a movie about a loose woman, but I can't do that, that's restricted. So what I could do is I could make a sort of a public awareness movie about the existence of these women and that you should stay away from them because they could spread sexual diseases, right?
And you still get the purient.
But out of that 20 minutes, there's still 15 minutes of it where the woman's going around with different men and having a good time, and you've made it. But then you've put this little patina on either end that says, "Oh, and don't do this. This is very bad for you." And that's how that happened. And so there's a number of for instance, a Reefer Madness, which is a classic one. That was a
Do you think they knew that was funny?
Oh, absolutely.
You think when they were making that, they knew that was funny?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. If you look at the movies that the other movies that they made,
yeah.
I mean, it was clearly that they were trying to make these kind of campy type movies.
So what do we have here?
Given that, is it more funny to us in 2020 than it was in 37? Probably.
Yeah.
But by coincidence, yes. But So this one is going to be a more obscure one. This is by a guy named Dwayne Esper, who did a number of these types of movies throughout the years, and he has his own marijuana one, along with one's called Freaks and I don't know, How to Take a Bath, all these other things of the time.
How to Take a Bath coming soon.
Sex Madness. And so the one that we're going to watch right now is How to Undress in Front of Your Husband. And again, it's because he wanted to make...
Feel free to play along.
Sort of a goofy movie. Turn it up. Go ahead, turn it up all the way. Turn it up all the way.
Elaine Barrymore.
An interesting thing is that it was written by a woman who also wrote a bunch of other exploitation movies at the time.
The Candid Cameras brought us a new lowdown on the higher-ups. The bestsellers have taught us to wake up and live alone and like it. Our beer boast is thinning. Our smokes aid digestion. Our mothers-in-law would walk a mile for us, and our children tell us the facts of life. But how about our women? Do they satisfy? With all these modern disadvantages, science has done nothing to make marriage safe for husbands. The old marriage institution has limped along for centuries, burdened by boredom. Men have submitted, suffered, and supported long enough. Therefore, we have decided to do our bit toward the relief of marital boredom. Lesson 1. To the ladies. How to undress in front of your husband.
I like how it's the silent movie crawl, which is in the same style too.
This may appear to be only monkey business, but in reality it's very serious, ladies. The demon with a glint in his eye and the little black gadget is a candid camera addict. Public menace number 1. For all the peeping toms of all the generations pale into insignificance with modern super peeper. While the scene you now see being sought to see the no longer safe, ladies.
So this is the best that they have. They don't have a super clean version.
Anywhere, hiding in the folds of your shower curtain.
The folds of your shower curtain, that would be good. I like the white piece. What is that?
That's a reflection of him.
Sniper. It won't
Nice
Or one that's
California
adorable
house.
generally, and keyholes simply bring out the peep in him. The victims of this focus fiend invariably end up in the soup.
I like how he has a vest on as he's doing the.
photographer's developer.
And there's light in
On other
this.
occasions, it's front page
dark room.
notoriety. This all depends, of course, on who she is.
So it's kind of like a paparazzi.
And, where she did
But this is just for his own.
I like it how scandalous it is. You
It's her
know?
ankle. It's her ankle up to her knee.
We'll just tag along as the
It's like the,
pays a visit to the
it's a
boudoir
Saudi
of
Arabian scandal.
personality, Elaine Barrymore.
Very, very well.
As we edge up to the keyhole, we find
got
Miss
some
Barry
silent
just
movie
returning
acting,
from
too.
a Hollywood party. It's 6:30 a.m. Of course, Miss Barry is totally unaware of our presence, and therefore is completely at ease, doing the things she does naturally, without ostentation. In the old days, the boudoir was considered a sanctuary where a lady could retire, if she wished to, in privacy. But in this age of snooping reporters and candid cameramen, nothing is sacred. In the flat below, there lives another Hollywood celebrity, Miss Trixie Braganza. And she too is returning from a party.
She had a rough night. This is a guy, right? Is that Divine?
So let's settle here and now the question of how and
That's
how
like a bird.
to honor your husband. Down through the ages, women have paid meticulous attention to the matter of dressing. They have consumed hours and hours in getting just the precise effect desired. Each dainty garment has been donned with the utmost care and thought.
So it's really burlesque
No
at
amount
the
of
end of the day.
time or effort has been considered wasted if the final result was alluring glamour. But ladies, when it came to undressing, that was something else again. Technique was thrown to the winds. Angles were disregarded. Charm and allure were
This is complicated.
entirely forgotten.
It's a lot of stuff to undo. She's wearing like mesh stockings on her
I
arms.
suggest that you watch her closely. Notice the ease and grace with which she slips out of things.
It's just a striptease movie
I don't
that
know.
advertises how to do it.
From all appearances, you think
It's
she's
like she
spent
got
her life
caught in a
in
net like a Looney Tunes thing.
That truly is artistry. Ah, there should be some developments here. No, I'm afraid the developing has gone the limit. However, Trixie's been around, and when it comes to undressing, she should be able to show us a thing or two.
I think we're supposed to find this
Now,
humorous.
Trixie,
Oh, okay.
Please, don't forget your bedroom manners.
But no one's here. Except us.
Back in the Barry boudoir. Now I'm sure we'll see something. For Miss Barry has excellent bedroom habits, and she unquestionably has it. Oh, she must have it.
Oh, she
Yeah.
is. This is shocking.
Oh my goodness.
She not only knows how to...
So this is how you could get away with it during the Hays Code.
The what?
By making it an instructional film.
Well,
Right.
that's what it says in the script. Ah, now we're getting right down to business.
He just broke the fourth wall there.
Executed beautifully.
Why? By talking about it?
He just talked about the script.
It isn't what you
Well, I think he was,
reveal,
just
but
using
what
as
you
a
artfully conceal that makes this
imagery,
movie an
not
intriguing art.
this
You
specific.
notice the poise of the body,
Oh, where should
the
we go
rhythm
with
of each
this?
graceful movement, to the appreciative.
Oh, a little-
there is
we're
in
seeing a
scene
little
like this
back.
Something truly uplifting. Yes, indeed.
Is there going to be a little side boob?
I don't know. I
And
haven't.
distinction.
All I know is it's about 10 minutes long.
Money, or a combination
So
of
where would this be like at the theater or what is this?
I don't know. This might be the stag party. Oh, there was a flash of something there for a second.
that every girl
This wasn't going to be the
practices
theater.
on her first
Yeah.
sweetheart. Miss Barry has a subtle artistic
And every girl
ability
practices on
to
her
inject
first sweetheart
suspense into her
is scandalous because that means they weren't married. First sweetheart.
and one that should be universally adopted. Now, she's about to slip out of her slip. No, it's not a slip. It's her
She has high heels on
Skip it.
the entire time.
It's her
To convey to
lingerie.
you precisely what I mean by aesthetic sense. Let's follow the candid camera to Trixie's once more, where that other celebrated
Remember those teenage boys, remember where one would show you how to do it right and the other one would say,
This is there's a lot of potential for comedy here that they're just not.
You know,
keeping it
we're
subtle.
holding you up as a
Yeah.
colossal example of boudoir finesse. And
It's still better than the Haley and the Three Stooges one.
eagerly waiting to see just how you do it.
yeah, how is she going to get that off?
Come, Trixie. Let's get down to the foundation.
She needs like 16 people to help her.
It's easy to see how this
I don't mean, how do they catch a whale?
Imposing front, Trixie. These ladies are all here to learn how to undress. They're not interested in how to take down an awning.
And there it goes.
They want to see your technique. Isn't that awful?
What did she catch at this Hollywood party?
Is in. Really, ladies, I'm terribly sorry. This sequence has turned out to be a perfect bust. Well, anyway,
Get it?
a bust. And that man's here again.
Oh! There's a little censored on there.
Yeah. Oh, but she's still kind of open there.
Now, for a little light on.
I think this is a pretty good.
Let me see. What you going to do now?
If I wanted to define exploitation film, I think this is pretty good,
Something coming off here.
right?
Very
Oh,
subtle.
yes, of course. The stockings. She has lovely eyes, don't you think?
Well, somebody's like, give me an example. Like, I think this is it.
Is she going to rinse them in the
Miss
sink?
Mary always rolls her stockings down from the top, never from the bottom up. That's a very good point to remember.
How could you roll them from the
There's a
bottom?
delightful nonchalance about this little lady, a studied indifference that is certainly effective. Invariably, she keeps you guessing as to what she'll do next.
There's something
A
like
trait which never fails to intrigue the average husband.
cheeky and like 1980s about this guy.
Rolls them.
He sounds a little like William Conrad, the voice of Fractured Fairy Tales.
Oh,
Trixie even gets into her own hair. Life is just a bowl of cherries to Trixie, but she's the pits. And take a look at the hoozers she's got on her head.
She's not going to take her makeup off?
Well, they'd have to be blind to take Trixie out. How her husband must thrill to such exotic charms. No wonder he has business at the office. I'm afraid I'd have business in South Africa.
it's just
This little pig went to market. Stay home. You're a big girl now.
it's just like I guess it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, I guess. But he couldn't be shown in a theater.
No,
Oh, look at that. Is that grace or disgrace?
I mean now it's just a bunch of comedy, but it's
Yeah,
not.
just
But it's like,
making fat jokes.
yeah,
Why didn't she go to sleep in her bed?
I don't know.
Oh, she's got to do her exercises first.
You're just wasting your time, Trixie.
Oh, shoot.
It'll take a broad axe to whittle that down.
It may be William Conrad.
Well,
Battle.
Oh, really?
It'd be in the credits.
Is that?
Oh,
You'll blow a gasket someday.
it's the same joke over and over again.
As it's turned out, you're probably gazing upon the greatest exponent of what not to do in a bedroom. To keep a husband, she'll have to keep him. Ah, but this is something else again. A soft, balmy night, dreamy
It's-
music, and a touch, just the
It's still too long.
Yeah,
some subtle perfume.
because they spent too much time on the fat
Mrs.
woman.
Johnson, that'll get him.
Well, it's just that it hasn't gone anywhere. Like it's like they've already established this thing.
Command to sell herself
And
to the man she loves. Until
now-
she bans him.
You have to do more tension or something. Like
Sends him monthly invoices. I think this worry is about over, though. In a few moments, Trixie will fold up like a dump truck and call it a day. Yes, I was right. the dreadnought is about to drop anchor.
Oh, yeah?
Through the all-seeing eye of the candid camera, you have witnessed the correct and the incorrect method of retiring.
How many pillows are there?
You have seen how it is quite possible to disrobe quietly, gracefully, without effort. There's no need to get out of your clothes as though you were emptying a sack of potatoes. There's no point in leaving your bedroom like a cyclone that struck it. After all, Trixie, we like you, and fun is fun, but please, don't be primitive. As for you, Trixie, I'm cured.
No.
A do not disturb sign will no longer bring out the keyhole peeper in me. You have quashed it completely.
Oh, so the narrator is the peeper.
Oh. Where's her husband?
I just
Keeps
said-
saying about her
We
husband.
sigh with deep regret to think this
Well,
lesson
she doesn't sleep with her husband.
Well, that's the 30s. He had a different
such
bedroom.
lovely
Right.
power.
Yeah, I know people that do that these days.
Even now?
Yeah.
Oh, because they've been married for 40 years?
No, not even. It's like the boyfriend snores and
A final word of warning. This candid camera fiend is all about. And he'll expose you if you don't watch out.
How many times do I have to call you to dinner?
An excellent scene below. I think that was William Conrad. I think that was really the voice of Fractured Fairy Tales narrated.
you can look it up. I mean, like I think that was at the very beginning, but I mean, yeah. Let's see. Why not? It's uploaded by unknown 2010. It's what was this one called?
How to undress in front of your husband.
Yeah. So oh gosh. So it was 1937. So you're claiming that it was done by whom?
The narration sounded like William Conrad.
No, it wasn't.
Who was it?
The guy's name was Albert Van Antwerp.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, it might be 37, might be a little early for William Conrad.
Let's see what else he did. So he was dead by 1946.
Oh.
So he did a bunch of. Oh, so he was an actor. Just a bunch of small things. So Stanley at Starvation Camp, Almost Right, Just a Wife, Uncertain Glory. Yeah, there's these. I don't know. Nobody Lives Forever. Yeah, there's this whole entire sort of like network that you can go from these people. Like I bet you those actresses. I bet you that they were just in these kinds of strange
Yes.
movies their entire lives. Like I don't think that you ever saw like Lawrence of Arabia in the future. So yeah.
Barrymore or not, I don't think we saw in another movie.
So I think that's it. There's a bunch of other exploitation movies out there.
We'll try some next week.
Well, there's stuff like there's the drug ones from the 60s,
How to
right?
take a bath.
There's the famous black exploitations from the 70s.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is the part that I guess the beginning of it all, which is the pre-war post-Hays Code. And yeah, it was basically
This is still in the Hays Code.
it's post-Hays Code. But that was basically burlesque because the burlesque is a combination of comedy and striptease, right?
Yeah.
By its nature, and so that really was it without the music going on.
Without the comedy.
Well,
But they gave it a try.
no,
Too subtle.
Yeah, they tried to do
Too
the comedy,
subtle.
right?
Too understated.
But I guess this is more of it's weird because you forget like how much vaudeville still influenced 1930 cinema, right? It still played a huge role in it.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to like sort of tease out when that stopped playing part of it. Because I think it did in early television as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yes.
Yeah, until maybe the late 50s even. Right? So yeah, it's still the lameness of vaudeville still with us today.
Almost all those performers started in vaudeville.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Nice and short. All right.